Okay, it's now May 18th, Mom. Day 2. Another beautiful, rainy, fog-shrouded day at West Point. On the road, coming in. We're parked way back and have a nice walk up to the barracks and the plane. Example of some of the homes right along the main roadway coming into West Point. This is a beautiful looking site. This is as well. Matt Donahue, one of Mike's good buddies, Diana, of course, Tom, why am I blanking on your last name? Gilligan. Tom Gilligan, yeah, to the Gilligan family also from the West. Okay, Tom is the official photographer for the school. Matt Donahue, of course, graduating. Nice going, buddy. Okay, guys, thank you. Thanks. Okay, Tom Gilligan walking inside. This is Taylor Hall. Superintendent, Dean, Chief of Staff is in here. Beautiful. Kind of cool. Okay, so this is what they make cadets do around here. Carry heavy boxes on their back. Pershing Barracks, where Michael was his first year. Oh, he's doing it until noontime, supposedly. Oh, yeah. Well, this is interesting.
I want to read all these monuments.
Okay, bub.
That's how they go. They go right over. That's what makes it so easy for them.
Okay, we were hopeful that we would run across Michael.
Background for you.
How you doing, buddy? No, that's good. Listen, are they practicing for the review today?
Oh, you already missed it.
Okay, Cadet Semmelroth.
That's me.
He's giving me the lowdown. What time you up this morning?
I was up about 4:25.
Okay, so and then you guys got ready, you ate breakfast?
Well, we had formation at 4:50.
Okay.
We had breakfast at 5.
Right.
And then we formed up right over there for key leader drill about 5:30. And 6:30, then everybody else came out about 6:45.
Okay.
And we put all those ruts out in the plane, walking around.
So
500 people out in that square.
So that went on this morning at 6:30 to 7.
We got done about 8:30.
Yeah.
Okay, so then then the downpour came.
Oh, downpour was about 6:45.
So they made you work, march through the downpour.
I'm actually just getting dried off right now. You can still see my boots are a little wet.
Oh, so you were all in your fatigues.
Oh yeah.
Good. Are you graduating?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Now, what did you branch?
Infantry.
Okay, I said, okay, I see from the rifles. And you're airborne as well.
Yes,
Are you going to Fort Benning?
Yes, I am.
My son Michael is too, Mike Nielsen.
Oh, I know.
You know him?
Yeah.
What company are you with?
I'm A3.
Ah, okay. Well, he's doing Ranger. Are you going to do Ranger School as well?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you guys might be together. When do you report?
I have to be down there July 20th, but I don't start Bullock until October 16th.
Oh boy. Okay. So, yeah, my son,
time.
he goes June 19th or something. Then he's got does Ranger School. He'll probably be finished Ranger School by maybe December or January.
Yeah, right about then.
And then he goes to Fort Campbell, 101st. So where did you post?
Fort Lewis.
That's Washington.
Yep.
What company? Or
I'll be
division?
2nd Brigade, 2nd ID, which they deploy in April, so I'll actually meet them in country.
Oh, in Afghanistan? Oh, really? So 2nd Infantry Division is, that's what my father was in Korea.
Okay.
Congratulations, Cadet Semmelroth.
Thank you very much.
Gotcha. Where are you from, by the way?
I'm from Rockford, Illinois, which is right outside Chicago.
Excellent. Okay, so the famous shot of Army beat Navy. Now we're looking around. Cadet Semmelroth is back over there near the Eisenhower statue, sitting down. Glad we got the lowdown from him of what's going on. The second practice for the review is taking place at Eisenhower Hall, and we're going to go over there right now. Check it out. And that's over this way towards the superintendent and the commandant's house. Okay, Douglas MacArthur statue and Constitution Corner is in the distance. That is where many 4th Regimental swearing-in ceremonies will take place in Fort Putnam. Okay, so here's the superintendent's house, and the regiments would have, 1st and 2nd, would have been meeting here in this garden. Yes, it is Auburn. Yes, you can see it straight ahead. But because of the rain, it's been moved to Eisenhower, which is too bad. Okay, Lanius Thayer, Colonel Thayer, father of the military academy, the guy who made the school convert from a military training to an academic university that also has military training. Another photo op at the classic home here near Eisenhower Hall. Another cadet coming up the path running. Good job, man. Tough hill. It has that look and feel like it's going to clear up, Mom. I'm optimistic. I'm going to go downstairs and embarrass your son as he's training indoors for the review. This is from the cadets marching and practicing this morning in the pouring rain. Oh boy, okay, let's hope they have the Thursday and Friday reviews. First I'm going to get a terrific video. There it is. Nice, zooming right in on you. Okay, there he is. Okay, now I need a picture. Up. Thank you, sir. There it is. Okay, now I'm going to get into still mode in a moment. There they go. Uh-oh, the mom read about the doctor. Okay, I'm going to have to go inside over there and look myself. Okay. Okay, Rob Lesniowski has made an appearance. Oh, Monzano, I'm sorry, John. I do this all the time. John, how you doing, buddy? John Monzano, how you doing? Good?
For just a second here.
Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. How you doing? Mike Nielsen.
I know, Mike, and we went, remember when they first started? We were talking about you doing all the video work all that time. You've been doing it for the whole 4 years.
Exactly.
The picture I sent, I posted on Facebook as your son and my son right after the march back.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
And
We're sitting on our rucksacks on the plane.
Hey, nice aerosol there.
they're gonna carry those.
You're putting a cap on. I'm finally putting a cap on the 4 years.
Mike wants that aerosol there.
Yeah, I know he does. He should have earned it there with me that day.
These guys will be
He got that food in his pocket.
small world out there, you know?
There we go. Okay, Mondano family. I keep getting it wrong. I keep saying it. Okay, The Shires have arrived. Robin is checking out the situation. I'm getting her good side.
No, thank you very
as
much.
always.
You want to get my good side? I'll turn my
Classic
back.
husband Mike and
And I'm
Mom.
yelling as
No, I don't
usual.
want to be in the
Mom's
picture.
got to be on the video. She's got to be there. She was the one who got you the reservations.
Yes.
At the fair.
I told you that.
See, if we'd known better, I would ask you to get me reservations.
Oh, I would.
That was on what day? While I was in a crumbled heap on the floor. That was
There it
me.
is. Okay, so here we are, buying more junk.
Yeah, right.
That's it.
I walked out of here
There's
with...
Taylor and John.
Oh,
You're on video now.
I got it. Officially
You
adding
got
you
Taylor's
guys.
good side.
You know, I added some pictures that had the boys in it from our day.
Oh, did
Because
you?
they're going to do a slideshow at the thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
put pictures
Mike and Steven, when they were
From
together
A-Day.
down from...
I got that too. I put that on too. I sent that as one of the pictures.
Oh, did you?
It was the three
Oh,
of them.
that's so funny. And then I have Mike Shire,
I'll be right back.
John Clay, and
John
Mike
Clay. Okay.
together.
Very
Okay.
nice.
So,
So what
here we
did
go.
Diana set you loose for you?
So there's all my hats.
There's all you have. Where are you?
There's a
Cadet Stanley, one of the members of the Pipe and Drum
It's
Corps.
a picture. It's a
Michael.
video.
There we go. Excellent. Thank you.
Stanley.
See, that's the old water tank. It's going to be right up ahead. Yeah, actually, they run up here through the trails that are in these woods down here.
Oh, they rock trails.
Yep. Right here is one of the trails that the cadets run up. So they come up straight. We come up on an angle with the car. They've got
that's
to
what
be
Mike was
exhausted
like.
when they get here.
Yeah, this is huge. This is like
There you go. First scenes of Fort Putnam up there. People looking out over the edge.
what about Fred? Will he be able to come back in time? Pushing someone up this?
Forget it.
See the great chain, this is what they were saying. So for Fort Putnam, you could see where they would put the great chain. That's Constitution Island, no?
Yep. This is it.
Protect against the British.
You can see.
Welcome to the historic Fort Putnam. To hear an audio broadcast, please do turn to the camera and push one of the 4 buttons below.
Welcome to historic Fort Putnam. Built in 1778 by Colonel Rufus Putnam's 5th Massachusetts Regiment, the
Nice.
fort was intended to command the southern and northern approaches to the Great Chain and the forts below. Today, Fort Putnam serves as a silent reminder that West Point was considered by George Washington to be the key to the continent. Fort Putnam is operated by the West Point Museum, the oldest and largest military museum in the United States. Located at Pershing Center, the museum is open free of charge 7 days a week from 10:30 a.m. to 4:15 p.m. Thank you for helping us to preserve America's military heritage.
The centerpiece of West Point's defenses was the Great Chain, which stretched across the Hudson River between Trophy Point and Constitution Island. The iron chain weighed 65 tons and was 550 yards long. Floated on log rafts, it was fixed to each shore. Emplaced in April 1778 to obstruct river navigation at the narrowest and most treacherous point, the chain was never tested by British warships, but its very presence, combined with the surrounding fortification, prevented the British from moving northward out of New York City. At the end of the Revolution, the Continental Congress designated West Point as the repository for all war materials. In 1814, the United States Congress decreed that trophies of war should be preserved and displayed, and West Point was the chosen location. During the American Civil War, this growing collection was installed at Trophy Point to serve as inspirational and technological examples to the Corps of Cadets. Today, the guns at Trophy Point serve as silent reminders of America's past. Trophy Point is located around the tall white flagpole visible below you.
Constitution Island was the site of West Point's first Revolutionary War defenses, where one end of the Great Chain was anchored in the cove to the left of the boathouse.
Okay, so let's
Abandoned after the war, the Warner family purchased the island in 1836 and expanded the remnants of a barracks building into the house preserved today.
The family's sisters, Susan and Anna, ministered to cadet recreational and spiritual life until Anna's death in 1915.
Constitution Island was deeded to the Military Academy and is still used by the Corps and the West Point community today.
Thank you.
This is
Good job, guys. Where are you from?
Michigan, Florida.
Oh, terrific. Terrific.
I'm here for my 50th reunion, which is
Oh, is that right? 61.
61.
Excellent. We saw you guys in the buses. Unfortunately, they canceled the.
Unfortunately, the parade.
They canceled the parade. I wanted to see my son in it. He's a
Okay,
firstie.
So you're here for graduation week?
Correct.
So I took a march back with them from Fort Putnam when they came in after end of Beast Barracks.
Oh, back in 07.
In 07, yeah.
Oh, you did. Oh, in that case, I captured you on film.
You were there?
I was there.
Yeah, okay.
Here's the shirt. Leave March back that he participated
Nice,
in.
nice. What's your name?
Bill Matson. Yeah.
Bill, nice to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet
Congratulations. Quite an accomplishment to finish from this
You're a
place.
very proud parent, and you have reason to be proud.
Thank you.
A son or a daughter?
It's a son.
Okay, well, wish him
Now, what did you branch when you were in the military?
my class was still sending 20% Air Force, which is why I went Air Force.
Oh, really?
I had an instructor for a class called Space Mechanics as a senior.
Right.
And it's by the name of Frank Borman. That rings any
Oh, you're
bell.
kidding me.
He became a
Right.
Apollo astronaut.
Absolutely. Famous
so
guy.
He was a mentor. And
Really? Now, did you fly?
yeah, I was a C-130 navigator and a missile officer for my time in the service. Yeah.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you very much for adding a wonderful story to my video here. Well, you know, it's funny. You just said you weren't up here for 50 years. My son doesn't want to come up here. He's run up here too many times.
Yeah, right.
He goes, I was saying, my wife was asking him, do you want to go up to Fort Putnam? He goes, no, Mom, you and Dad go up there. I don't want to go. I've been up there too many times.
Okay, we'll have a great graduation week. Hope the weather improves. And
Yeah, I know.
graduation parade.
I'm hoping to have the parade tomorrow as well as Friday, because it would be great to see him. They made him battalion commander this semester, so you get to see him actually march out front. The shorter guy, so he's always buried in the back.
In late August, the New York leaders appointed a commission to fortify the Hudson Highlands. Shortly thereafter, the commissioners for fortifications engaged a Dutchman, Bernard Romans, to be their military engineer.
When the commissioners and Romans arrived in the area, they moved on to Martyrs Rock and named their planned fortification Fort Constitution. Work on Constitution Island, as it soon became known, progressed slowly, and inexplicably, Romans ignored the preceding recommendations to fortify both sides of the river.
Concentrating on his grand bastion design, Romans began to build a fort on poorly situated ground which failed to take best advantage of the long, commanding view of the Hudson River below the island and West Point. When the commissioners questioned Romans' plan, a furious, long, and interminable argument ensued with their engineer about the conditions of the fortifications. And though they lived only a few hundred yards apart on the island, the commissioners and Romans only communicated by letter.
The argument eventually reached the Continental Congress, which sent its own committee to inspect the fortifications. When it arrived in November 1775, the Congressional Committee was appalled at what it found. Fort Constitution, for the most part, did not exist. Furthermore, it was recognized that West Point dominated the island position. Before the Continental Congress's committee left the island, it concluded that neither the New York Commissioners for Fortifications nor Romans could handle the job of fortifying the island.
Following this inspection, a committee of the New York Provincial Convention visited the island to try to smooth out the differences between Romans and the commissioners, but it was unable to improve conditions. The committee did, however, recommend that the ground near Popolopen Creek be fortified instead of Constitution Island.
The idea of fortifying the area near Popolopen Creek was a good one, but it was not new. Romans and the commissioners had agreed, in one of their rare moments, that the position there would be a better one than the one on Constitution Island. As 1775 ended, the fortification of the Hudson Highlands had not progressed very far, and in the next few weeks, the New York Provincial Convention ordered the construction on the island suspended. More importantly, the convention approved building new fortifications near Popolopen Creek. In March 1776, work began at Popolopen Creek on Fort Montgomery, which was named for the American commander killed the winter before during the American invasion of Canada.
Shortly thereafter, when General George Washington heard about the poor conditions of the fortifications in the Highlands, he sent General William Alexander, Lord Stirling, to examine the area. Lord Stirling and his assistants did a thorough job. They recommended that works be built at Stony Point and at Verplank's Point, and that a new position be built on the south side of Popolopen Creek on the high ground that overlooked Fort Montgomery. On Constitution Island, they saw immediately that West Point's elevation dominated the island positions, and they recommended that a redoubt be placed there. Stirling, however, did not mention West Point in his summary to Washington, and the Patriots ignored the critical vantage point again.
Just a few weeks later, in July 1776, British warships ran past the American gun positions on Manhattan and anchored in the Tappan Zee. This threat triggered furious action in the Highlands, and everything possible was done to complete the fortifications on Popolopen Creek and to construct a chain which would stretch across the river to Anthony's Nose on the east. After Washington's defeat on Long Island and later at White Plains, the position became even more important to the Patriot cause when Washington chose to move his army into New Jersey away from the Hudson River.
While the forts at Popolopen Creek were being completed and new positions were established further downriver, the chain was finished and moved into place. The force of the current broke it, however, and the river could not be blocked. Further north, Patriots worked to block the river between Plum Point and Polypel Island with an underwater obstacle called the Chevaux de Frise. After facing several British threats in 1776, the troops in the Highlands settled down to a cold winter.
During 1777, the situation changed radically in the Highlands. The British leaders knew the value of the Hudson River, and in London, General John Burgoyne developed a plan to strike south from Canada along the Lake Champlain-Hudson River route toward Albany in conjunction with an attack along the Mohawk River by Lieutenant Colonel Barry St. Ledger. In support of Burgoyne's plan, General Sir William Howe would sail up the Hudson from New York. Howe would have been able to defeat the forces in the Highlands, however, in early January 1777 if he had moved vigorously against the Patriots, because only 156 men remained on Constitution Island, and it is reported that as few as 6 men remained at Fort Montgomery.
While Patriots deserted in scores, some continued to work in the Highlands while impressed Tories constructed the underwater obstacle between Plum Point and Polypel Island. Patriots also readied plans for the emplacement of the chain near Fort Montgomery when the weather permitted. If the river obstacles and forts were completed, they probably would have frustrated the British. This did not happen. as the British demonstrated in March 1777 when they raided the Patriot barracks and magazine supplies at Continental Village near Peekskill. The raid caused feverish activity farther north as American regiments manned Constitution Island and Fort Montgomery. The British, however, retired to New York, and the threat to the area diminished for a while.
In April, the Patriots finally installed the chain under the guns of Fort Montgomery and completed the underwater obstacle at the north end of the Highlands near Plum Point and Polopel Island. Even the forts neared completion. The apprehension in the Highlands did not subside, however, as British movements kept the Patriots stirred up. At his winter headquarters in Morristown, Washington pondered the situation in the Highlands after the British raided Peekskill because he was not satisfied with his commander there.
Washington considered his subordinates timid. Therefore, he ordered Major General Israel Putnam to command the Highlands. He then sent Nathaniel Greene to the area to inspect the defenses and to make sure they were prepared to meet British attacks. Greene and his associates recommended that a boom be constructed to protect the chain and concluded that the river obstacles were sound. Unfortunately, the defenders ignored the problem of overland attack from the west because they felt the ground was too difficult to traverse. When Putnam arrived in the Highlands in May 1777, the defenses were still not in order. The Patriots had not placed armed galleys behind the chain and had not completed the boom. In June 1777, Burgoyne commenced his planned campaign and maneuvered the Patriot forces out of positions along Lake Champlain and Fort Ticonderoga.
Washington immediately sent Arnold to Upper New York, then marched his own army toward the Hudson as he tried to figure out what Howe was preparing to do. Not until he finally learned that the Englishmen had sailed for the Chesapeake area did Washington move toward Philadelphia. With Howe's movement south, the Patriots in the Highlands relaxed. Recently mobilized militia went home in early August as the summer ended, yet fortifications were still not completed. To make matters even worse, Washington, on September 11, ordered Continental forces defending the Highlands to join him after suffering defeat at Brandywine. Barely 2 weeks later, 1,700 British and Hessian troops arrived to reinforce the New York garrison, commanded by General Sir Henry Clinton, setting the stage for the great event in the Highlands in 1777, the capture of Forts Montgomery and Clinton. On the same day that Washington lost Brandywine, Sir Henry Clinton sent a messenger to Burgoyne near Saratoga telling the general that he was moving an army up the Hudson and that he might take Fort Montgomery, an action that would keep Patriot forces occupied in the Highlands, preventing them from reinforcing northward. The message reached Burgoyne on September 21st, just after the Battle of Freeman's Farm. Believing that Clinton would soon arrive, Burgoyne ordered his victorious but bloodied army to entrench and wait.
On October 3rd, Henry Clinton left New York with 3 divisions which he planned to land at Stony Point and send through Timp Pass, Doodletown, and then around Bear Mountain to attack Forts Montgomery and Clinton from the rear. To deceive the Americans, Clinton made a feint towards the east before he landed his troops at Stony Point. Clinton based his ingenious plan on advice given him by Colonel Beverly Robinson, a local loyalist and former friend of Washington whose family homestead remained just north of Anthony's Nose. After conducting his feint towards Tarrytown and Peekskill, Clinton landed forces at Stony Point at 6 o'clock in the morning on October 5th and pushed his men forward rapidly. Patriot scouts detected the move, but withdrew and gave up the critical bottleneck at Timp Pass. This allowed Clinton's columns to converge on the forts from the south and the west.
The inevitable battle was joined on the 6th when a British column commanded by Colonel Beverly Robinson attacked General George Clinton's forces at Fort Montgomery, and another column attacked his brother, Colonel James Clinton's forces at Fort Clinton. With fearful use of the bayonet, Henry Clinton's British troops bested his American cousin's forces and had cracked the American defenses in the Highlands by dark. Israel Putnam and George Clinton tried to stop the British advance northward and hoped to do so at Polopel Island, but they failed. Henry Clinton's men took Fort Constitution without a fight on October 8th, then prepared to move against the water obstacle near Polopel Island. With little difficulty, the British forces moved north toward Burgoyne. When word reached Clinton that his comrade had surrendered at Saratoga, Clinton began his withdrawal to New York City. Abandoning the Highlands because he did not have enough men to hold them, Clinton destroyed the American forts.
While 1777 brought disaster to the Highland forts, the Patriot victory at Saratoga and Washington's tough fight at Germantown impressed all of Europe, and France decided to aid the colonies. And in doing so, turned the American Revolution into part of the worldwide war with Britain. With winter approaching and the Hudson River again open to British navigation, the commanders in the Highlands reconsidered their options, and from the ashes of defeat, the Americans finally decided to fortify West Point. In mid-January 1778, French Lieutenant Colonel Louis de la Radière started to sketch the outline of a new fort at West Point, beginning a new era in the Highlands. Then in late January, American soldiers marched over the ice to West Point and established a post which has been occupied ever since. During the winter, while Washington and his troops suffered at Valley Forge, the Patriots accomplished little at West Point. In one area, however, the Patriots progressed. Captain Thomas Machen supervised the building of a second iron chain, stronger than the first, to be stretched between West Point and Constitution Island by the end of April.
In March 1778, good things began to happen at West Point. Colonel Thaddeus Kosciuszko, the Polish engineer who had won laurels at Saratoga, arrived, and under Kosciuszko, the fortifications at West Point began to take shape. Additional fortifications were built to the south and to the west of the fort which de la Radière had located on the plain, and Captain Machen placed a new chain, again obstructing the Hudson River to British navigation. On the plain, soldiers worked on the main fort, Fort Arnhem, its river batteries, and nearby Sherburne Redoubt. Recalling the disastrous losses of the previous October, Colonel Rufus Putnam's 5th Massachusetts Regiment built Fort Putnam to protect Fort Arnold from an inland attack. South of Fort Arnold and covered by Fort Putnam, 3 Connecticut regiments built Forts Webb, Willis, and Battery Mease, each named for their commanders, and a blockhouse was built on Rocky Hill, later to be known as Redoubt No. 4. In 1779, the fortifications at West Point reached their fullest extent with the construction of redoubts No. 1, 2, and 3, and on Constitution Island, redoubts No. 5, 6, and 7. The Americans also rebuilt Marine Battery and Gravel Hill Battery, renaming it Cretan's Battery on Constitution Island. When all the forts and redoubts were completed, West Point secured the Hudson River and the Highlands. 2 important threats placed West Point at the forefront of the war after 1777, but neither brought combat to West Point. In 1779, Sir Henry Clinton took Stony Point, cutting the Patriot lines of communication across the river. Washington immediately decided to recapture Stony Point and entrusted the attack to Brigadier General Mad Anthony Wayne. Wayne took Stony Point on July 16, 1779, with a night bayonet attack.
The following year, Henry Clinton tried to take West Point by treason, but his scheme failed, and the tragic Benedict Arnold became an anathema to Americans. Arnold escaped from Beverly Robinson's house while Washington inspected Middle Redoubt. Arnold's accomplice, Major John Andre, however, was not so fortunate. Captured at Tarrytown and tried at Tappan, Andre died on the gibbet on October 2nd, 1779. With these great events over, days of boredom returned to the Highlands, and the war in the colonies turned south in 1780 for its final campaigns. In 1781, Washington took his army south from the West Point area to Yorktown and victory with the surrender of Sir Charles Cornwallis.
Washington returned to the area in 1782 and encamped his army in New Windsor, where he waited for peace. Work continued on the Highland forts until peace came on April 19, 1783, but the soldiers had little heart in their work because the threat was gone.
Still, the additional work helped to preserve the forts and redoubts, which made West Point the key to the continent from 1778 to 1783. The remains of these forts and redoubts can still be seen today, and they provide a rare link to the past and a basis for gaining a better perspective of the history of the Hudson Highlands, West Point, and the American Army during the Revolutionary War.
there, 'cause these are all the readouts.
Uh-huh.
Fort Clinton is in Constitutional Army.
Oh, interesting.
There it is, it's called the chain. The chain.
Well, Diana, Fort Clinton is the original fort of West Point.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes, it was named Fort Arnold. His name was changed after Benedict Arnold tried to sell the plans to the British.
Oh, is that right?
I guess probably commission in the army, I don't know. He obviously was changing sides.
Born in Poland. Yeah, Kosciuszko, this is all. It's very interesting. Also, the original is the chain.
George Washington. Here he is. Major General Putnam. Colonel Rufus Putnam. General Clinton. Thaddeus Kosciuszko, Chief engineer. Famous Kosciuszko Bridge, as we call it, connecting Brooklyn and Queens. It's named after that guy. Oh, he is part of the original chain.
This is it. This is why we cut them in half. Very interesting.
Is it raining hard? Okay. So much for not for our umbrellas in the car.
I know, my hat, everything. I didn't bring my bag. I would have my hat in the bag and everything. Looked out great.
We were becoming too optimistic that that there wasn't any chance.
Oh my God. It's like a pack of people.
There's quite a big wall over there behind those cannons.
So you can walk over there.
I know. That's what I'm saying. There's quite a big wall that drops down
Way over there.
when you get over to those cannons.
Oh, you think so? Yeah. God, I should be sleeping in here, taking my little nap.
There you go, Mom. Can't they put those historical shows on? Put you out.
I'm so tired.
Actually, it slowed down quite a bit.
Oh, I think it's going to stop.
Still raining. Okay. There she goes up this way. Out along this way. Aimed pretty much in the general direction of the river. As you can see, Mikey Stadium from here. There it is. Ice skating rink for hockey teams over there. It's quite a big wall over here. Yeah. Okay, I'm coming. Look at how big that wall is.
What's this? Is this the Cadet Chapel?
Now,
What's that building?
yeah, that's the Cadet Chapel.
What's that building there?
I wonder if that's the clock tower near Pershing. You know how there's that tower that's right near the Eisenhower statue? Yeah, I think so.
It's like near Bethea.
You can actually see the minivan down there.
Oh, yeah. We're the only one here.
That's right. We have the fort to ourselves. My younger days, I would have really enjoyed this. I would have needed some brothers to help. Okay, that's what we heard about in the video or the audio. There she is. Right, so you got some Civil War cannons up here, but you've got the other ones that would have been, I guess, more in line with the age. Some of that smaller mortar stuff and the bigger cannon there. Ron's field gun. Look at this wall. Pretty cool. Okay, there she is. I think I'm running out of tape and it's almost time to go. There is Diana on the very edge. Fort Putnam looking back towards West Point. Okay, Mom, it's starting to rain again. I think it's time. A helicopter flying through this crummy weather. Oh, so this is the powder magazine, I guess they would call it.
Yeah, they must have tried to do this in
Really? Okay, Mom, it's time to go. Yes. Out the front gate. Okay, I thought we were leaving, but we're not. Came up here. Swung around. See a bunch of these cannons. Look at the size of that wall. What a project. Okay. There it is. Out on the reservoir near Mikey Stadium. Just about to run out of tape.